Hi, in this instructional video, we will look at the distance on a coordinate plane. Make sure you copy down the objective on your video notes. The objective will be to find the distance between 2 points by using the distance formula. So the essential question for today is, what is the distance formula? Alright, so let's review what we learned in junior high. In junior high, you learned the Pythagorean Theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we can use this only for a right triangle. Now we're going to use the Algebra 1 behind it and connect it to geometry. So we're going to take what we learned in Algebra 1, slope, the change in y, which is y2 minus y1, and the change in x, which is x2 minus x1, and this time we're going to put it into the formula that we learned in junior high. So now we're going to put it in where the a is, because that's the change in x, and we're going to put it in the b, because that's the change in y, and then we're going to find c, which is the hypotenuse that you learned in junior high, which is this diagonal. So now we're going to be able to solve for c, and that way we can see how long this hypotenuse is. And because of doing this, we can now call this the distance formula. C is actually the distance between point A and point B in a diagonal. In Algebra 1, we didn't allow you to go diagonally. We only allowed you to go up and down and side to side. But now in geometry, you can go diagonally by using the distance formula. Alright, so let's try using numbers. So I'm going to give you 2 points. Point 2 is 4, 6. Point 1 is 1, 2. Alright, so now we're going to plug it into the formula. So 4 right here, that is going to be my x2. So this right here is x2, and 6 is my y2. And likewise, P1 is 1, so this is x1, and y1. Alright, so then I can put this into the formula. Let me label it here on my notes as well. That way you can visibly see this 4 right here comes from the second point, the x in the second point. The 1 comes from the x1 from my first point. And likewise, my 6 comes from the y2, and my 2 comes from the this y1. Alright, so I'm going to subtract these two, which would become 3 squared. So let me do the work out here. So this would be 3 squared plus 4 squared. And 3 squared is 9, 16 is 4 squared, and that's how we came up with square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. So that means the distance between point 1 and point 2 here is 5 units. Alright, so let's give the actual definition. So the distance formula is a formula that gives the distance between 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2 on the coordinate grid. And this is the actual distance formula. Make sure you copy it down in your video notes. Alright, so let's do another example, but this time I'm going to take the picture away. So given these 2 points, let's find the distance. So here's the first point, 1, 2, and here's the second point, 9, 8. So here's the distance formula, and now I'm going to plug in the numbers into the equation. So it might be easier for you to label x1, y1 first. So this would be x1, y1. Then this would be x2, y2. And so that's why 9 is my x2 and 1 is my x1. And then 8 is my y2 and then 2 is my y1. So 9 minus 1 is 8. And then 8 minus 2 is 6. So 8 squared, this is 64. And then 6 squared is 36, which gives me this 100. And the square root of 100 is 10. Alright, so why don't you try this on your own. What is the distance between 4, 2 and 8, 5? Here are your multiple choice, and we'll check your work in class. Good luck!